I clearly remember the feeling I had of the four walls collapsing around me. And I remember choking and unable to breathe, and my brain just misfiring. And I felt like I was having a heart attack. And I've saved this story it's been 1 year since that presentation. 1 year ago, I was at this company that I was working for, and now it's not a secret. I was working for Zelle. That's right, it's a payments provider, technology, fintech company that I was working for. And when I got this job, I got the job offer when I was still in California. And this job was my ticket to success, meaning that it's the next level that I took. I was one of the few bankers in California that actually broke out of the banking industry, which is also a very tough industry to be in as a profession, especially if you move up the ranks in the ladder. And I studied fintech diligently. I was very amazed at how people used technology to move money, and that it became a passion of mine. So if you think about apps like Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, right? There are people behind these amazing APIs that have a direct impact on coding and how they write certain, key programming language as such, right? To enable different companies and renowned institutions and banks, financial institutions to connect with the likes of the Zelle and Venmos and so forth. And at the end of the day, we're helping their end customers essentially move money, right? So when you're buying things on Amazon actually banks with, just say, a big bank XYZ. Bank XYZ needs to connect to Zelle to release the payments and whatnot. So I'm just giving you context as to what it took for me to get there. And when I got this job, I was so proud of myself that I broke out of the banking industry and I'm going to break free from California, and my dreams are going to come to a realization, and the manifestation, the visualization, everything that I was feeling, seeing, attracting for 2 years. This is my ticket out. And I did make it out. I got to Nevada 3 years ago. I put so much stock into this job. Like, I gave it everything I had, my soul, my heart, my weekends, my dating life, my everything was given to, like, I could not fail on this job. And yet, 1 year ago, I quit this job. I quit working for Zelle. And when I say this, it's with a very heavy heart. You can hear it in my voice. It's the moment for me to be vulnerable on this channel, like really go in there. And when I made those videos last year, 1 year ago, about why I quit my 6-figure tech job, it was very depressing when I left. It was very, very depressing. I didn't have anything lined up. I did have a significant amount of cash saved up that would last me for 1 year or so. And even though I had that security, the cushion, right after I quit, I was very depressed. I was very ashamed that I got to a point of burnout, but the nail in the coffin was my panic attack. And I started experiencing panic attacks severely when the company was, let's just say, there were some compliance issues that had come up, and we were being audited. And so I was held responsible for everything that was going wrong. And there were some things that were going right, but from the minute I landed there, 3 months, the honeymoon period, it was kind of a holding pattern. Like, we didn't know which direction this department was going to go. And in the 4th month, the roof collapsed. And so I was given the task of managing the chaos. And on the flip side, I developed some skills, technical skills as well. I became a lot smarter as a result. It's because I had to. I had no choice. I didn't sign up to be an information CIS guy, computer information systems. I was not that dude. But I started studying the tech specs. I started studying technology, coding, translating certain things, and simplifying complex information and being able to explain it. It helped in many other areas of my life in terms of interviewing, presentation. But what started happening was, if you are someone that's already dealing with anxiety and the triggers, right, of anxiety, right, you can feel like your world is going to collapse and you're going to die. That's the feeling. Like you feel all the eyeballs are all on you 24/7. When I started this channel over 2 years ago, some of my videos did really well about anxiety, and I think I need to be talking about it a lot more, because where I am with this channel, you could easily mistake me for being this carefree guy that's got everything going for him, and I don't have it together. So it's important for me to keep talking about this. Why I quit that job eventually is I remember that presentation wasn't all that difficult. It's just I had a manager that was a little nasty. There was more than one manager, and I can't speak highly on either one, because in their own ways, it was a big political game to drive each other out of that department. And eventually one was let go, and my initial manager, who's still there, is there. I can't say anything bad about him. The only good thing I gotta say is that he is super intelligent. He is very, very smart. I've learned some stuff from him, as a matter of fact, that I'm applying even until today. But in terms of how that whole situation was handled and how I was eventually managed out, it came at a cost, and I was making about close to 200,000 all in, right? My base, incentives, stock options, and as I talk about all this, it's just this big ball of energy leaving my system. Even until today, I still replay those thoughts, like that presentation wasn't even worth it. And to those wondering, it was a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm not the genius when it comes to Microsoft Power presentation, but what I could never understand is, like, you have this page of like 7, 10, 15 slides, and you sort of talk about things that are not on the slide. Like if you're a PowerPoint user, and if you're really good at it, that's a skill set. But what I could never fully grasp is, how do you bullshit and dance around a PowerPoint when the slides are all there? Like, why can't you take excerpts from the slide and speak to it? And I thought that's what I was doing. But he pushed it, and I kind of knew this was time for me to leave the company, because I got embarrassed during that presentation. I looked around me and I was stuttering, I was choking because I started second guessing myself. And he was always like making these comments in there during the presentation, speak louder. I'm like, I am speaking louder. So we got to that point is because he was managing me out, and I refused to believe that this was happening. And when you start your presentation, a lot goes into it. Mind you, flying out to Arizona, where this is headquartered, this company, getting ready for these high pressure cooker situations when all eyes are on you. They're trying to drive growth, they're trying to drive revenue, profitability. They give you tasks to do that are way outside of your job scope, and it's not like it's rocket science, but everything, you become a one-man show and doing 3 people's jobs. And when I made those videos last year, I was very shaky. Like, I didn't have this confidence. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Some of this goes back to 1 year. So if you look at those videos that I'm putting in the cards in this video, you will see the difference in my tonality now versus then. And right now I'm with a financial institution. I landed a pretty good job here in Las Vegas, Nevada, brick and mortar building that I go to. I do my job 9 to 5 and I plug out, and I don't really have to log on much, really. I'm not working weekends. I took a little bit of a pay cut. I'm still well over 6 figures. In fact, there's potential to go upward in this job that I'm in right now. So, meaning I could make up to 300 actually. So, up and until my YouTube channels take off, this one of course, but I have a soccer channel, I have a news channel. Those are monetized. I'm working at it. You got to work at your craft. Those are monetized. I'm not making serious money yet, but hopefully that changes, and the goal is to eventually quit forever, leave the 9 to 5. But that panic attack taught me a lot. Like, it was less about the presentation, but more about me drawing my boundaries. Me letting that person know enough is enough. Me accepting the blame, good and bad, is unhealthy. Me putting my manager on a pedestal is unhealthy. Me somehow going out of my way and compromising my life and my daily, my space, like my gratitude moments that I'm doing now, my journaling, my mental walking, all of those, like taken away from all those moments was not worth it. And you come to a realization that with or without me, there was not a whole lot that could change there, because it was messy. It was messy. Would I work for that company again? Yes, but in a different capacity. Maybe not quite that job, maybe under a different management team. Maybe when things, everything you hear about technology, how overworked people are, the toxicity, there are elements of that are mostly true. And I remember my head of sales guy looking at me like the manager. And in fact, when I was leaving the company, I had a confession. I confessed to him, not my direct manager. In fact, I didn't even talk ill about my direct manager at all. But I told my head of sales, who managed everyone, including my manager, that, hey, listen, I think I had a breakdown. And I apologize that I let you down. I am sorry that this happened. I'm getting emotional now because it's giving me those sad feelings, is because when I left this job, I woke up that Monday not knowing where life was going to go. But my confession to him was, look, man, I just had a serious breakdown. Ever since I got this job, I came here with a set of expectations and a dream that I built, and you guys sort of gave me the gateway to be that, right? Recognize my dreams. And I'm here now in Nevada, Las Vegas. It's a dream life, but is it really a dream life? It's not. I was trapped. I was caged. A lot of anxiety, psychological issues that I'm still working through. This post-traumatic stress syndrome that has carried over to my new job. And I'm sweating right now as I talk about this. And I know that there are videos that are made out there talking about these panic attacks, right? I've experienced a lot of those in Zoom calls. I would freeze. I wouldn't be able to project my voice. I felt like I was being judged. I was negatively self-talking into oblivion. And when the calls would end, I would start the sabotage. I would start calling myself certain names. My inner voice would start telling me how dumb I am, that I couldn't get it. And so what did I do? I tripled down on knowledge. I tripled down on studying more. But it was counterintuitive because I couldn't retain anything thereafter. I was burnt out. And then I cried after the last day when the lights were turned off and my computer access was all taken down. A week later, I got the box to ship my computer out. I cried. But it wasn't like a bawling cry. It was like, I wish I could have just put my foot down and said enough is enough. That's unresolved, right? And I didn't do it. I didn't know how to. All of this, now that you're seeing me come into my actualization into a different version of myself 1 year from then, is Thanks to YouTube, man. If you look at my earlier videos, I wasn't able to talk this way. There was a lot of ums and ahs, and I was very spacey, and I couldn't string together my sentences like this and without, stuttering. And even though I stutter now, I'm okay with it. Because I don't care to be judged. And if you do, how am I going to control that? And this is a message to you, is that if you're wondering what people are going to think of you, most people are not thinking about you like that. Everyone's going to judge you. I judge people. But we have to quickly move on to our lives, right? Like there's a lot we have to accomplish and do. That day, I flew back home, and I remember meeting this amazing chick on the plane, by the way, on my flight back, first class. And I remember seeing the stratosphere as I was landing. I'm like, wow, I'm in Vegas. I'm back home. There was this exhaustion. There was this feeling of loss that I'm about to give my notice. I just knew this was it. This was it. I was given all this tasks to do as a follow-up, being a director, right? As soon as I landed, this was due. Can I get the call notes? Did you take notes? This was all to just poke me out, like really stab me and twist a knife. And he knew what he was doing. I would never want to work for him again. And if someday this video finds him, yes, I'm not going to take your name, but I would never work for you again. I am grateful for everything you taught me. I am grateful for your intelligence, and I did learn a few things from you, but I would encourage you, man, to find the humanity in you, to crack a smile every now and then, because I think you've lost it. This wasn't my loss, this was my win. It's like confronting your bully a lot later in life, and some people never get to do that. And I think YouTube is a platform that allows you to timestamp your work and go back and look at it. And this is unfinished business for me. And I know I'm not the only one out there experiencing these panic attacks. When you are worked to the bone, the money is no longer worth it, because it can that stress can literally kill you. And I think it almost killed me. On my ride back home, the Uber driver goes, "You look like you've been through hell." And I said, "I have. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to get home." I got home, showered. I picked my dog up the next day from my dog sitter, but I slept. Took a few days off. I slept like a baby. I spent the next few days just staring outside at nothing, but I knew everything that was about to happen, and I think it was the calm before my personal storm. I gave my notice. Very anticlimactic. It's almost like, okay, next. At the end of the day, if you have lost your sanity, if you've lost your health, if you're in the hospital because of the job, is that paycheck really worth it? It wasn't for me. What I looked at as disappointment, as failure, has taken me some time to come back to that moment, to recognize that it happened for a reason, and it wasn't my fault. I am not dumb. This was more than just a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Everything leading up to that day was psychological manipulation and a mind effery that he did on me. So that when I finally got to the presentation, I was already juiced out. Like I was already done. I had nothing to give. I was running on fumes. And he knew it. In that meeting, he was very condescending. He was very condescending, and I think where I went wrong is drawing my boundaries and calling him out, and he deserved I think he wanted the smoke, and I just, for some reason, the nice guy in me at that time, just, I didn't have it, man. I was shut down. I was so gone that I literally thought I failed myself if I leave this job. That's how dedicated I was. Anyway, guys, I'm at a better place today. I'm with one of the largest financial institutions in America. I work for them now. Back to the banking side with the edge of the technology skills that I have, right? And I would encourage you to talk about your own stories and share that. And because YouTube is that platform, and I think I've found some family on YouTube actually that's allowed me to be vulnerable and share my stories. That's why I love YouTube, and that's why I love doing this. I know anxiety is nothing to mess with. I know mental health is nothing to mess with. So the goal and the hope is that if I'm putting myself out there like this, you're inspired. If you're in corporate, you know the corporate politics. No matter what job you're in, corporate is corporate. Give me technical, finance, architectural, law, medical, accounting, right? Manufacturers, distributors, whatever. It's all, you're getting a corporate paycheck. There's politics every single place you go. Some places it's really bad, and some places it's not so bad. But you have to sort of play the games. But what's not acceptable is that you accepting abuse and not drawing the line when it needs to. You not voicing up your own truth and giving your perspective and being shoved in a corner. And in a way, YouTube has helped me break out of that shell that I was in. Anxiety is normal. Anxiety is the biggest bluff I've ever faced. It's an invisible line. It's a force. It's not there. It's like a fog. It's not there. It's all mental. Easier said than done when you're fighting it. Anyway, my arms look huge, man. Like shit. Damn. This is also part of my development here. Fitness, self-improvement, all of this, but none of this is physique means nothing if this isn't right? So you got to have this to push yourself. It's more than just the physical. Okay, till the next video, guys. It's triple digits outside, and I'm sitting in the car and I'm sweating even more here, so I got to get back in. But just changing the venue and the scenery, just wanted to do this video from my car. Okay, thanks for watching and listening. Till the next video, Mamba out.